Few guitars carry the soul quite like the PRS Santana. Designed in collaboration with the iconic PRS Santana, this guitar isn't just an instrument, it's a work of art. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Hey guitarists, welcome back to Squealing Pig Guitars, the home of luxury shred machines here in Nottingham, England. And in today's episode, we're checking out a beautiful PRS Wood Library Carlos Santana signature model. I have to say, this is one of my favourite signature models that PRS have done. I think the Santana is one of the most iconic models, and it was actually one of the first PRS models. Developed in the 90s, this guitar is as iconic as Santana himself. It would just be weird to see Carlos Santana shredding on stage without a PRS guitar. Obviously, previous to the 90s, he played a lot of Gibson instruments, most notably the SG and double cut juniors. This Santana model definitely has a little bit of Gibson DNA running through it with the double cut design and humbuckers. But this guitar really is its own beast. So without further ado, let's grab the guitar and have a closer look at the Santana model. So welcome to the Spec Talk. In this section of the video, we're going to be talking about all the specs of this amazing Carlos Santana signature model. First off, obviously, this looks exceptional. It's such a lovely looking top, got a really nice kind of blue finish on this with some black binding, which you don't see every day. Then when we turn it over, we have a natural back, which I really love how they're doing this more in the wood library. But to make this guitar even cooler, we've got Carina wood all over this guitar, so on the body and the neck. I've been told that Carina has a similar characteristic to mahogany. Obviously, visually, it looks quite similar, but it has similar density and similar tone properties. But it just looks so stunning. It does have a very nice natural beauty, and when you hold the guitar like that, where you can see the natural body and then the flame top, I think it's a really nice kind of contrast between the two colours. It's very nice indeed. To add to that, we have gold and chrome mix-matched hardware, which I really love to see on these PRS guitars. But first, let's just talk about the model name of this guitar. So reading down here is the PRS USA Wood Library Santana Custom Color Ebony 2022. So first, let's go over the construction of this amazing guitar. So as I mentioned previously, we have a Carina body. This is the Santana body shape, which was actually one of the first PRS body shapes. Obviously, Santana was the first artist. We have this very nice kind of belly cut there, just very, very small. And then as we turn it over, we have a flamed maple top. So it's quite an ornate guitar. Obviously, you have black binding on this, but we have a mother-of-pearl center seam here, as well as the two mother-of-pearl lines here. I'm unsure why they do that, if it's just a stylistic choice or if there's functionality behind it. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comment section below if you know. But I do think it adds quite a unique character to it. And obviously, it looks a little bit like an SG, I guess. It's a lot more stylish and a little bit better looking, in my opinion. But I guess it also has a kind of a look like a double cut junior, maybe. Obviously, Santana was using SGs and double cut juniors before PRS, but obviously now we all know him playing PRS from the 80s pretty much. We've got a 10 top on this one, so this is a flamed maple top. 10 top basically means it's the best 10% of wood that PRS can source, and that's why it's in the wood library and it's been used on this guitar. Moving on to the neck of this one, we have a pattern carve, which is their more vintage style carve. It's a little bit thicker, feels a little bit like a 59 profile, a little bit slimmer, but it's a very rounded profile in comparison to their modern profile. Turning it over, we have an ebony fingerboard, which is just as smooth as silk. It has such a lovely look to it with the mother-of-pearl bird inlays, and this is 24 frets, so you do get the little owl at the top there. We have white binding on this one with the black side dots, and it's just a very beautiful looking guitar, isn't it? Moving on to the headstock, we have an ebony headstock cap, and as you can see there, we have the kind of PRS Wood Library bird there with the Santana logo. And it has its own unique headstock design. Again, this was one of the first kind of PRS models ever made. The headstock's a little bit Gibson-like, but it also looks a little bit like Heritage guitars, but obviously you have that straight string pull, which means that this guitar's going to stay in tune really nicely. Turning it over, they've used my favourite PRS tuners, which are the phase-free lockings, but you can see the open cogs there, which look beautiful with the gold tips and the chrome shafts. And so I believe that's everything you need to know about this guitar. Obviously, I haven't talked about the switching system, but it's very simple. It's just three-way switch, one volume, one tone, no coil splitting. We have the PRS tremolo with the brass saddles, and in terms of the pickups, the Santana pickups, the wound for Santana. To my ear, the bridge has a lot of mid-range, especially in that kind of throaty area right in the middle. So it'll be great for lead playing, but for clean stuff, it can sound a little bit honky in my opinion. However, the neck pickup is a little more fruity, it's a little bit more bassy, which is a lot better for chords and stuff. So it is a little bit of a Swiss Army knife. The neck position is great for cleans, the bridge position is great for distortion, but as I said, the bridge pickup is a little bit honky for clean stuff. We have medium-sized frets on here. They are polished up really nicely. It was very easy to play his guitar, as well as an immaculate fret job as you'd expect on all PRSs. I can barely feel the frets as I move along here, and the neck finish is so... Hello? Alright, there is. So now we're just going to talk about a little bit of history between Santana and PRS. The Santana PRS is the result of decades of collaboration between Paul Reed Smith and Carlos Santana. Santana was really the first artist that PRS worked with, and if it wasn't for Santana collaborating with PRS, PRS probably wouldn't be as big of a company as they are now. He was really the driving force for getting the PRS name out there, and his signature model really started that trend. To my knowledge anyway, other than maybe John Mayer, Carlos Santana has to be one of the biggest artists that PRS have ever had, and he's the longest standing PRS artist. Santana was one of the first big artists to endorse PRS, and in return, PRS made him a guitar that matched his unique style, fluid, expressive, and powerful. This guitar really is built for sustain and clarity, and really encapsulates that Santana sound, that kind of woman tone, the tone rolled down, like shrieking, fluid lead lines. It really is a work of art and a great blues guitar. So now we're just going to talk about a little bit of history between Santana and PRS. In the late 1970s, Paul Reed Smith was an ambitious luthier who built custom guitars and took them backstage at concerts to show them to professional musicians. One of the first big-name artists to notice his work was Carlos Santana. At the time, Santana was playing Gibson SGs and Yamaha guitars, but he was looking for something with better sustain, richer tone, and more comfort. According to the legend himself, Paul Reed Smith specifically made a guitar for Santana, hoping he would try it out. Santana played it and was impressed, but he had one major criticism. He told Smith the guitar sounded like a Stratocaster. Santana wanted something with a thicker, singing sustain similar to his previous Gibson guitars. Now fast forward to the 80s, this is the birth of the Paul Reed Smith Carlos Santana model. Paul Reed Smith took Santana's feedback and refined his guitar design. Over the next few years, he made several guitars for Santana, experimenting with different pickups, wood, and scale limbs. By 1982, Carlos Santana had fully embraced PRS guitars, playing a double cutaway PRS prototype during live performances. These early prototypes would eventually lead to the creation of PRS Guitars as a company in 1985. Santana was one of the first major endorsers helping to bring global attention to his brand. So Paul Reed Smith has a lot to thank Carlos Santana for. So the first official Carlos Santana model was released in 1995. While Santana had been playing PRS guitars for over a decade, the first official PRS Santana signature model wasn't released until 1995. This guitar was a result of years of collaboration between Santana and Paul Reed Smith, incorporating everything Santana wanted in an instrument. There was years of refining and detailing this guitar to be the perfect axe for Carlos Santana. I really like this. I think when we talk about the Silver Sky and John Mayer, I know that process was pretty lengthy to try and design, PRS's version of the Stratocaster. I really like how hands-on Paul is with his collaborators, and the innovation and the design development is very cool with this. There's been a couple of Santana models over the years. I'll just mention them now. So we have the Santana 2, which was in 2001, which introduced a deeper carve on the top for enhanced resonance. It also had improved pickups for the tone. Then the Santana 3 was released, which was from 2002 to 2007. Again, it just featured more modern pickups. You had the Santana 3 pickups, and this has been known to be one of the most popular models. Then we had the Santana MD, which was made in 2008. The MD stood for multi-dimensional, offering more tonal versatility, and they had slightly different pickup voicings and configurations. Then we had the Santana Retro, which was in 2017 to present day. It was a tribute to Santana's early PRS models from the 1980s, with a vintage-style headstock shape and deeper neck carve, and custom-wound Santana pickups modelled after his PRS tones. And that is the guitar that we have today, but it's a wood library variant. There's also been SE version, standing for Student Edition, which is the more affordable line made in the Far East. The Santana PRS isn't just a guitar, it's a symbol for, you know, the years of hard work between two people who are very passionate about guitar. And as I said, I think this guitar is as iconic as Santana in my opinion. All of his Latin rock tunes sound incredible on this guitar and has a really nice vocal to sustain. So now that we've talked about the history and the specs of this guitar, let's plug her in and see how she sounds. Welcome to the tone demonstration of this PRS Santana. For today's episode, I'm plugged straight into my Kemper Profiler. I've got a bit of like a Dumble preset. I'm trying something a little bit new today. The intro track was Let It Be, arranged by Matteo Sasato. I really like this track and I thought it really suited the neck pickup on this guitar. So I'll play that arrangement again. I'll just take off a few of the effects so you can hear the kind of raw sound of this guitar a little bit more. So I'm just going to remove the reverb, make it a little kind of a shorter spring reverb and the tremolo. So this is what we get. So yeah, that's the neck pickup. It has a really nice sweet tone to it. Obviously, I really like the Santana model. It's a very stripped back PRS, just two humbuckers, three-way switch, and one volume, one tone. They also feel very comfy. This has got quite a small body size. Obviously, you have Carina on the back here, so it's very resonant, and it's got that pattern carve. So it's very much in safe territory for me. I feel very comfortable playing this guitar. Let's go to the bridge pickup and see how that's sounding. The bridge pickup definitely has a lot of mid-range. It's very quacky sounding. It'd be really good for distortion tones, but I'm not a massive fan of how it sounds clean. Let's mix the two together and see what kind of tone we can get. Really like the middle position. So the neck and the middle position are probably my favorite so far. I'm not a big fan of the bridge as a clean tone, but let's move to some distortion tones and see how they hold up. So now I've changed my profile to a Vox AC30. This is my typical kind of distortion tone, and I'll just add tube screamers kind of to dirty it up, I guess. So let's hear that bridge pickup again. Sounding good so far. Let's add a tube screamer to that. let's hear some distortion tones. Let's hear the neck pickup now. I'm just going to roll down the volume a little. Now let's hear the middle position. Lovely tones all around. Let's now go for some fuzz tones, get a little bit more higher gain going. So obviously it screams, got a really nice kind of hairy distortion on that. Let's put some reverb on and have some more fun. So guys, we're at the end of another video. Before I get into my final thoughts and review of this guitar, make sure to go down this video and leave your comments in the comment section below. I love chatting to you guys down there, and I always try to reply to every single comment, so get commenting, I'd love to see them. Also, make sure to hit like on this video, really helps us increase engagement. If you're new to this channel, hit subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified when we make a new video. So I'm going to rate this guitar a 7 out of 10 for today. It's a very strong PRS guitar, and as I said, it's one of my more favourable options from PRS. Love the neck carve, love the body shape, the pickups sound pretty decent. Obviously, visually speaking, it's a work of art, and I always have loved Carlos Santana. Especially in my early days of playing, I used to really respect his, his tunes like Smooth, Love of My Life, all that type of stuff. He's got a very nice, unique vocal style, and his solos always pack a punch with loads of emotion, so I've always respected him as a guitar player. Things I like about this guitar, I love the carina back, I love the natural body. I think it's a very cool design element, contrasting against that blue top. I love the mother of pearl kind of inlays and the ebony fingerboard with the mother of pearl. I just have two criticisms of this guitar, which I personally felt. I thought the bridge pickup was too mid-range voiced. It had a little bit too much of a honky-tonk tone, which means for clean tones it didn't sound that good. However, on distortion mode, it really did encapsulate that kind of Carlos Santana sound, so I guess it's kind of, if you're after that tone, you get this guitar. But for an overall kind of defined guitar tone, I wouldn't want it to be that mid-range heavy. I'm not a big fan of 24 fret guitars either. I find they kind of hinder my bending techniques. I'm used to bending on a 22 fret, so you're a bit out there a little bit, you have to get used to it. But other than that, they were my only criticisms of this guitar. Other than that, I think it sounds incredible and looks the part. But as I said, guys, let me know in the comment section below what you think of this guitar. And if you own any Carlos Santana signature models, let me know in the comment section below too. But thank you so much for checking into this video, and that just leaves me with one last thing to say. Keep rocking, guys. I'll see you soon.